The top running backs in the 2024 NFL draft and what they mean for fantasy now on FFT and 5. What's going on, everybody? Dave Richard, Dan Schneier. We've been studying these draft prospects, trying to figure out how they fit into our fantasy world. And Trey Benson's one that you looked at, Dan. What do you like about his game? What are you concerned about his game?
What I love about him to start is his home run ability. That 4.39 speed is real. You could see it on the game film, and he does it at 216 pounds. I compared his body type to Lamar Miller, but I kind of compared his play style to Kenneth Walker. I liked Walker more coming out, Dave, but they have a similar ability to hit that home run, but also to shake off. You can't arm tackle these guys. They're too strong, and they have too good contact balance. You got to go low to break these guys down. I don't think Benson is a perfect prospect, Dave, despite averaging 6.1 yards per carry in his career, which is excellent. And despite breaking the forced missed tackle rate record, according to Pro Football Focus in 2022, with 0.51 forced missed tackles that bested Javonte Williams and Travis Etienne. I think there are aspects of his game that need improvement. I think he can do a better job running within the system and not bouncing so many runs, I should say, outside. But overall, there's a lot to like, Dave. He has 0 fumbles in 2023. He's good from a contact balance standpoint, 4.0 yards per contact per attempt in his career. That's 95th percentile. So I think despite the fact that we've heard this is a down running back class, I can get excited about Trey Benson for fantasy football, Dave. And if he fits with the right team, I can get even more excited about his redraft value as well.
I wish you were a little bit more creative as a runner, and that might kind of mesh with what you were saying with Kenneth Walker. I think he tries to be elusive. I'm just not sure if he's quick twitch enough. You can stop me if you disagree with any of these things.
No.
I felt in order for him to get to the top speed, took him an extra second, so his acceleration isn't quite there. I think that's something that separates him from Kenneth Walker a little bit. But I also think he's improving as a pass catcher. There is on film a number of awesome receptions that he made. He can work as kind of a check down back, someone that you throw to in the flat, not necessarily somebody that's going to run a full route tree. And over the past 2 seasons, 8 carries from the 1 yard line, 3 touchdowns. You'd want that number to be a little bit higher. 17 carries from the 5 or closer, 8 touchdowns. You want that number to be at least a little bit higher. But both of those numbers are better than the next running back that we're going to talk about, and that's Jonathon Brooks. And I enjoyed watching Jonathon Brooks play. I think he's an awesome cutback runner, smooth agility, good vision, very good hands. You want to talk about a running back that can make an impact in the passing game. I think Jonathon Brooks is there, and I think there's room for him to even grow and be maybe even at the level of Alvin Kamara. I think he can be that good as far as a reception getter at the running back position. Had some really good blocking at Texas, and he did get caught from behind a lot. I know everybody talks a lot about his vision and the speed that he has. I don't think it's track speed. I think it's good speed. I think he will get caught from behind in the NFL. And I think the vision was okay, but a lot of those times there were lanes wide open. You could have driven a truck through him because of that Texas offensive line. And he sat behind not just Bijan Robinson at Texas, but also Roschon Johnson was kind of third in command there. And he's coming back from a torn ACL. I know that the ACL isn't the injury that it once was, Dan, but I'm a little bit nervous about what he will be, especially right away, especially in 2024, because he's coming back from that ACL injury. Let's talk about those short yardage numbers, and then you can give me your take on Jonathon Brooks. From the 1 yard line, this is just last season, 5 carries. That's it. He scored once, 15 carries from the 5 or closer, just 6 touchdowns. There are other running backs in this class. There are other quarterbacks in this class that are better in short yardage than both Brooks and Benson, but Benson, a slight edge there. Is there anything I missed or anything you disagree with on Brooks?
I think you nailed it, and I think you brought up his strengths and concern very well, Dave. But I will say the one thing I like about Brooks is something I see when I watch David Montgomery. It's something I see when I watch Nick Chubb, those types of backs. I think his processing is really advanced for where he's at as a young prospect and somebody coming into the NFL. I think when I watch his tape, I think he does a great job of setting up blocks, understanding when to kind of go and when to kind of be patient and wait to press the hole. And that's something that you can't teach, and it's something that makes such a big difference at the NFL level. We don't talk about it enough. So that's kind of why he's my personal RB1. But I'll ask you the tough question here, Dave. Is there any fit for Benson or Brooks? And if not, give me somebody else who you might have as your RB1. I don't know if either of these guys are your RB1.
I think Benson kind of by default is my RB1. Brooks would be right behind him. And then I think Blake Corum will probably be third. So not very exciting, but I do think I think all the running backs in this draft class have warts, and you've got to be able to kind of understand those. I think if Jonathon Brooks goes to one of the zone run schemes,
Sure.
the type of running that the 49ers kind of used to do. They didn't do as much of it last year as they did in the past, but other teams really rely on it. The Rams are one of them, that zone type running. I think he could be fabulous. I think he's a fit for that. I think Benson might be a little bit better in physical types of offenses where they run a lot of power runs. So everybody wants to know, well, who's the best fit for Dallas? I think Brooks can actually be a good fit there once he's ready to go. And then they say, okay, what about the Chargers? I think Benson's a better fit for the Chargers than he would be elsewhere around the NFL. Do you have a third favorite running back? Is it Corum? Is it one of these other guys? I know Adam Azer loves Marshawn Lloyd. You tell me.
I have a few guys. I don't want to, I'm not ready for that yet, Dave, because I want to go back and really grind the tape on some of those guys that are in that fringe area for me. It won't be Blake Corum though, for me personally. So I got a few guys in mind. Tracy, I like a lot, and I want to watch a little bit more and see if I can project that to the next level. But for me, it's going to be projection based. And as far as the question goes, I think you named the two best fits for fantasy, Chargers and Dallas, obviously. Now, the question I had for you before we get out of here is, if either of those backs or any other back that you like goes to those teams, one, how high do you think they could go redraft wise? What round? And then two, dynasty. Is there a chance they can make it into your round one type of guys in dynasty? Because for me, the way I play dynasty, there's almost no opportunity for me to not take a receiver over them in the back end of round one. But I'm talking super flex, by the way, where the quarterbacks get valued higher and there's going to be 3, 4, 5 maybe quarterbacks in round one. So super flex, is there any way for one of these guys to make it around one? Then redraft, how high could they go for you?
We're talking rookie only drafts for Dynasty and not Dynasty startups, because I hear you say, can they make it to round one? I think absolutely you can.
No, rookie only. Yeah.
One. But it's not going to be like Bijan was the 101. Everybody loved taking him, although maybe in Superflex he didn't quite make it there every single time. But yeah, man, I think you'll see a running back somewhere around in 1 QB, 107, 108, 2 QB, probably like 108, 109, 110, somewhere in there, mid to late first round pick for whichever running back ends up going to Dallas, assuming it's somebody that we really like. You know, I don't want to make you puke, but if it's Braylon Allen in Dallas, I got a feeling that that's not going to be one that you particularly like. I don't think I'm going to be a huge fan of that either. And then in redraft leagues, I think round 3, I think the hype could push a running back into round 3. Like if Jonathon Brooks goes to Dallas and he's the main guy and he's at training camp and he's ready to go, Dan, there's going to be a lot of hype around him. And you know this from doing as many mock drafts as you have already. The running back talent pool does get thin pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And there would be a lot of potential for Brooks in that offense, especially if he's kind of taking over that Pollard role and he's going to be able to get a lot of receptions. And that's something that we've already deemed him to be very, very good at. I think he could be pretty successful for fantasy managers there.
All right, there you go. There you have it. That's FFT in 5. We'll talk to you soon.